Hello everyone, welcome to today's showcase. Now I look stupid, but I'm not going to say who I'm kind of aiming for as terms of design with this weapon. So, weapon of today. I thought I'd go back to the katanas, since they're pretty awesome weapons. Everyone loves a katana, everyone does. There are very few people who don't. So I already covered the plain one. So okay, now to cover one of the ones that are not normal. Because you got the plain katana, and then every other katana is not normal. It always gets weird. So I thought, okay, let me take one that's been here since the first Dark Souls. One that you see a lot of the times, and every time you see it, you're not happy to see it, and the person who's wielding it. Yes. As many of you probably clued in by that one, if not the name of the weapon, it is the PvP favorite, for some reason. Not quite sure why. It doesn't have any tremendous damage, but oh well. It is the washing pole. The washing pole is the PvP favorite for its very long reach. Obscurely long reach of a katana, that is. Yeah, this weapon, very weird in terms of its length. It would be almost impossible in the real life. Anyway, description reads, a stunning, unusually long katana forged in an eastern land, Japan. The extreme length of this blade provides immense range, but also renders the blade extremely fragile, as the forging process of katana normally is traumatic to metal. The longer it is, the weaker the back is. The skill is the plain old hold, which is assume the holding stance to rapidly execute a lunging attack with normal attack, or deflecting parry with a strong attack, which is the shared skill across the common katana, or the plain old katana. I think it's Uchi katana? That's what it's called? Yeah. But yes, making this blade would be possibly impossible. I got no word for it. Because you'll see in a second how long the damn blade is. It is just abysmally long. Like really, look at this. It's taller than I am. Now, this weapon is based off the actual weapon called Udachi. Mind you, they don't get this long, but they are usually quite long, going up to 66 inches around there. Almost double the length of a plain katana. Now, the Udachi is made primarily as the plainest oriental style of a katana. There's nothing really characteristically special about them other than their unusual length. These weapons were not really meant for war, but more ceremonial. To pretty much stand on guard for the Emperor and such. You know, that sort of thing. Usually have intimidation factor. But in reality, these blades wouldn't be very great for combat. They would be quite brittle. A small katana could possibly even cleave one and break its back very easily. So using one in battle, well, it's Dark Souls. They don't take, normal physics to mind. But oh well. Looking at the stat-wise, the physical starts off a little bit stronger than the average blade, which is alright. It's not a huge boost, but it is there. The additional effects, this blade strangely causes bleeding. Well, I guess it's very sharp, razor sharp, but it's there. It causes bleeding, which is one of the reasons why it's PvP favorite. The achievement bonus is a D and another D. But judging by the bonus damage, I should have one of those probably going to C. I probably guessed dexterity, since it is a katana. The true requirement is you need actually quite a bit of strength and dexterity to wield this. This is not a beginner weapon. Despite the stats being a little bit on the low end for these attribute requirements, but it is what it is. 18 strength and 20 dexterity. The special skill is hold, takes 20 FP to use the normal attack, and 8 to do the parry. This katana is also a bit on the hefty side as well, at 8.5, but then again, look how long it is. And like its description says, this is the weapon with the lowest durability in the game, at 20 durability. You probably won't get through an area of common enemies without breaking this. I recommend taking this spell, Repair Armor, or some repair powder. And overall, it's pretty much what it is. It's very brittle, and they weren't kidding. But, with such immense reach, it might be in your favor to use it as such. The animations, the basic attack, Well, to be honest, all the attacks are, I even double-checked, they're all the basic attacks from the plain katana. Power attacks a jab, normal attacks is swipes, then two-handed attacks are actually traditional attacks, based on the usual forms. But yes. And then you have the special, which is the plain hold. And now, this would be impossible if we even draw the sword out from that giant sheath. But whatever. The sprint attack is simply a quick jab. Now, when upgrading this weapon, it takes plain old Titanite shards. Sheep old. Alright. So the upgrade is actually pretty decent. It's around 9 to 12 damage. Or 12 to 9, I should say, saying it backwards. But yeah, besides it's consistent going through, and I was right about the attribute bonus going to C for that dexterity there. Very nice. Now we're actually getting quite a bit of bonus damage out of this. Because we already doubled the damage. Yeah, past double the damage for bonus. That's quite nice, actually. Very nice indeed. Now, the reason why I started here is because I suck at parrying. So I wanted to get the parry damage over and done with. And boom, 514 damage. That is monstrous. Now I'm going to go for a back attack for a direct comparison. Luckily he showed his back pretty easily there. And 400 damage. So, the parry counterattack is much more powerful. No surprise there. Man, look how abysmally long that sheath is. It's such goofy looking. Normally the Odachi is worn on the back, not on the side, because you know, you won't be ever able to get it out. Unless you had a friend do it for you. But anyway, enough about that. The damage is quite large. And not to mention the range is also very large. So, you gotta use this to your advantage. Get a good distance away from your opponent at all times. Now, power attack did okay. Man, look at that. I hit it from that range. Look at that. That's almost 2 meters. Crazy. Now, like I said, you gotta keep the repair spell handy, because if you're planning to use this against enemies, well, you'll be quite safe, at a good distance, but however, this thing is very brittle. Across, well, mind you, I didn't break mine, because I periodically go to the same bonfire to respawn the enemies to get this footage. But eventually, I would think that this weapon is not very good for versus enemies for that reason alone. But, oh well. If you're still determined, it's still an excellent weapon, though. I guess you can easily see why people want to use this for PvP. Long range, it's quick, causes bleed damage, and you can even parry with the weapon. Now I'm going to try and parry for this attack, but again, I'm not too great at parrying. I always try, but it's just fighting my natural instinct to dodge. There we go. Nope, oh, okay, then I'll do it again. Again, I'm no good at parrying. But oh well. With all that, it's 300, 400 some damage. Okay, last attack I want to be the parry. There we go. And 408, almost the same as Cathedral Knight. Excellent damage. Alright, moving on to the pros and cons of the washing pole. On the pro side, we've got, obviously, a lot of reach. Very long blade. Also, we got fairly good damage. The special is also quite handy with its parry and quick normal attack. The weapon also has bleed damage added. Also very nice. On the cons, well, let's get the elephant out of the room. It's incredibly brittle. Fragile. It'll break easily. It also requires a decent amount of strength and dexterity, so you have to dedicate yourself to actually using this. And that's about the only 2 cons, I would say. Oh wait, I forgot one thing. I didn't mention this earlier, but if you attack normally, you should have saw during the animation, this attack bounces off walls and floors because of its unusual length, thus breaking it even quicker. But yes, moving on to the score of the weapon. Damage gets an 8 out of 10. Fairly good weapon. Reach gets a 9 out of 10 for obvious reasons. Animation, though, gets a 2 out of 10 for having the exact same animations as the plain katana, the Uchi katana. Bonus gets a 7 out of 10 for fairly decent damage. Miscellaneous gets a 6 out of 10 for being a close, about accurate historical rendition of the weapon, the Udachi. So overall, the weapon gets 32 points out of 50. Fairly good. Pretty good. Not probably the best weapon against enemies, no plain wise, but against PvP, it'll work just fine. It'll get the job done. Easy. And annoyingly. So overall, pretty good weapon. Not the best, but chances are you'll still find many red phantoms coming at you with it. And it's such a hard weapon to counter too, because they can parry you, and they have great reach. That's why it's just a nuisance used against you in PvP. Maybe not in the fight clubs, but for casual red phantoms, you'll find many of them wield this, and it's just a nuisance. But maybe only use against enemies, or even counterattack with that. But, oh well. This has been today's showcase. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care out there.